What's going on, all my good people out there in social media world, man? I got a very, very special guest tonight. We're gonna be talking about this real estate investment. I know a lot of people talk about wanting to invest in real estate. So tonight, that's what we're gonna cover, man. I got the man, the myth, the mogul here tonight. If it's your first time coming in, my name is Daryl Boyles. I'm a real estate agent, finance coach out of the big city of Columbia, South Carolina. This is Dollar Discussions. What I do is I help people increase their wealth and through personal choices and personal development. But definitely, man, a lot of people all across the world talk about investing in real estate. A lot of people I know. So I said, man, I might as well go ahead and get the GOAT himself and let's talk about it, man. So Cody, introduce yourself to the people who might not know you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cody Presley, Cody J. Presley. I'm originally from big city of Mother, South Carolina, born and raised. Um, I'm the chief operating officer of Burris and Presley Realty, the largest minority growing real estate firm in the state of South Carolina.
Let's go.
I'm a real estate investor, builder, and soon to be developer.
Let's go. All right, man. So Cody, we I see you. I see you in the forums. I see you on the stages, with Envy, with Caesar. I see you traveling, speaking to thousands of people. But we're gonna get to that. But I want to go back. I want to go back to early, as what I like to say to you, KW Cody, or maybe before little KW Cody. So how did you, or why? I guess why did you decide to get started in real estate investing?
Um, so basically, my exposure, man. Just like most people, I started out, I was a real estate agent and I thought I made it big. I thought I would become a millionaire only by helping people buy and sell homes. And I remember an individual told me, he said, the guy that walks away with the check, the biggest check at the table is the guy who owns the property. And I'll never forget, I had a client. It was a hard transaction. It was a long transaction. It was very tough for me to keep the deal together. I fought very hard for that client, man. Like that client, he was a great guy who I knew, who I called a friend, and I fought hard to keep the deal together. And at the closing table, he walked away with approximately $30,000. And when I seen him receive the check for $30,000, I said to myself that I should be receiving checks similar to that versus 3% of the deal. So, he walked away with the entire pie. I walked away with a piece of the pie. And so I realized that I had to elevate in my mind, in my thinking, and in my business, and I had to level up. And so that's what I did. So I looked at becoming an investor, and I learned how to flip homes, how to analyze the house and see how much it's worth, and how to be effective in renovating the homes and not spending going over budget, and how to sell homes quickly. So that's what I did, and
Good
voila.
deal. Good deal. Good deal. If y'all tuning in, man, Tam B, appreciate you checking us out. If y'all tuning in, man, say what's up in the comments. Drop some waving emojis. Say what's up to us, man. All right, so that was a bar. You said the person who gets the biggest check is the one who own the property. I
Right.
definitely, man, I love talking about ownership, but in my personal experience, I've come across many of people who may not be as concerned as making that switch from being a renter to being an owner. What would you say to somebody who is, I guess, kind of okay or content with being a renter?
What I would say to that person is, I would say if that person had children, I would pose the question: are you satisfied? Are you okay with leaving nothing to your kids as far as real estate? Are you okay knowing that you can possibly die tomorrow and your kids won't have a house to lay their heads in? They won't have a bed to sleep on, under a roof that you left them. I would ask that question. Um, that's the first question, and then once they answer that question, I can see exactly where their mind is at, their mindset is, and then we can get into conversation.
That is a big one, man. I've I've only been in real estate, nowhere near as long as you. So I know I've seen quite a few people who have basically been told by their landlord that they're going to have to leave. They don't have many choices at that point. Like they have to find somewhere to stay. So I think that's a pretty tough situation. Lashandra says, "Oh wow, hey Cody, I've seen your billboards." Yes,
Hello, how you doing? How you
yeah,
doing?
they're all over the place. Lashandra, he's like a Jamie
Call
Harrison.
me. You didn't call me though, so I guess I don't have enough billboards. So we're gonna have to put some more up. Maybe you'll call me. So, but thank you.
All right, Tim B says it's a harsh reality for a lot of people. Yeah. So all right, so we know why you got started. We know why. What are some of the mistakes you made when you were first starting out? Like if you could, what's something that you would do differently?
So somebody else asked me that question the other day, man. And to be honest, so I've been in real estate going on 7 years now, 6 years going on seven. And to be honest, man, the amount of success and the amount of things that I've been able, God has allowed me to accomplish, man, I can't really say that I would do things differently. To be honest, I feel like everything that I did has created the person I am today and caused me to grow into the person I am today. So, um, I was fortunate enough to have some people in my corner that exposed me to business on a high level out the gate. I was fortunate enough to have my past experiences to cause me to continue to have that drive and have that will to overcome anything that was thrown my way. Um, so I can't necessarily say that I would do anything different, man. I can tell you some of the things that I did that I think I would do. If I had to do it all over again, um, I was determined to be successful in real estate. So I went my first 10, 11 months without one sale. So, I literally didn't have any sale, no transactions closed within the first 11, 12 months of my career. And so, but every single day I went to work, I got up, I put on my bow tie, I passed out business cards. I learned more and more about real estate every single day, even though I didn't have the fruit at the time. So, and I carried myself like I was the number one agent, even when I had no sales. So I would continue to, and I learned. I try to seek out individuals who were successful. I had conversations with them to see exactly what they did to become successful in real estate. So I would do that same thing over and over, man.
Good deal. And I want to piggyback off something you just said. That was a question I was gonna ask later, but I'm gonna bring it up now. Like, I've been around you, I spent a decent amount of time around you, and you have something, you and Damien, shout out Dame Dollar. You have something that what I coined the achievement amnesia. It's like you would close on one of your properties, and like 10 minutes later, it's like it's on to the next. Like how could you develop that, or how do you maintain that?
So I think it becomes so like Michael Jordan, man. Um, he got cut in 11th grade, didn't make the team. Then that he went home and it set a fire. It created a fire in him, and he started to realize like, man, I'm good. Then he became more competitive, and then he got used to winning. Then he got one ring, and then it was like, all right, I need another ring. And even if you watch The Last Dance, you've seen where Pimpin was talking about his contract and talking about the money, and Mike was just sitting there, and Mike was like, I was just focused on winning. Like you tell Mike didn't care about the money. Like obviously he was getting paid, but
Yeah.
Mike just wanted to win. And you seen where they took him out every like 8 minutes. I mean, he was only allowed to play 8 minutes each game, and they'll
Mhm.
sit down like, and he was like, man, I just wanted to win. He was pissed off when he sat down versus like, like you don't have to, you still getting paid the same amount of money, but he was just determined to win. Even with LeBron, LeBron always wanting to win, just having that dog in him. And so,
Uh-huh.
it's the same concept, man. It's the same dog on the inside of me. You know, like anytime I close a property, anytime I do anything in business, it's just like I'm grateful and I'm thankful for it. But it's just like I can
On
do
to the
better.
next.
I can win again. Like I mean, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna stay stuck on the old win. It's like, all right, you know, I might have won the championship last year, but I want to win again this year. I want to
Mm.
continue to be great. You know, I want to continue to every single year be great and not just be great in the past. And you get stuck on like, yeah, when I was 10 years ago, you know, when I was in high school, I used to be the best basketball. You know, I don't want to tell old war stories. I want to continue to be the best every single year. You know, no matter who come in the league.
That makes sense. I love it. I mean, I love to see it. See it in person. So all right. So we got the COVID going on, like recession, whatever you want to call it. Is now a good time to invest in real estate?
So man, a lot of people call me. I probably get at least 5 calls a day. Whether it's friends, ex clients, anybody. I mean, different individuals. But I get calls every single day because we have more time. Most people work from home now, and most people feel the need to be more creative with their income and try to generate passive income, try to build generational wealth, and that's a great thing, man. I applaud that for every single individual that's thinking along those lines. However, the harsh reality is it's tough on the investment side in real estate in America right now. So I invest here in South Carolina as well as a few other cities and states, and it's tough to find inventory. It's a seller's market right now. So you got to understand that the foreclosures, you know, obviously the banks aren't foreclosing on individuals due to COVID. You know, obviously you don't want to put people out in during the pandemic, and plus you can't in some cases.
Mhm.
So banks aren't foreclosing. A lot of the foreclosure auctions, they're not being held every single month like they normally do. Like here in Richland County, we have an auction every single month, every first Monday. But that auction has been canceled the last 2 to 3 times. So that inventory is not coming out to the public. You got landlords who can't evict tenants. Like for instance, myself, I had a property I owned at the beginning of the pandemic. Um, they're just now getting served. So I held this property for 8 9 months. The individual still living in the house, hasn't paid me a dollar, and I couldn't evict them due to the pandemic. So it's just now getting to the point where that person can be evicted. So inventory it has shrunk, and you got guys who has a lot of who invest full time, and they have the resources, they have the liquid in the bank, but we can't find inventory. You know, myself personally, I normally keep 3 flips going on at a time, or 2 to 3 flips. Right now, man, I don't have. Well, I got flips going on in another state, but here locally, I don't have any flips going on personally, and I got the funds and the means too. I just don't have the inventory. So it's tough. So it's really aggressive now. So if a property does come on the market, imagine you got 50 investors with, you know, those guys might have $1 million sitting in the bank account. One of them might have $10 million sitting in the bank account. What happens when that one property come on the market? That's a good investment. I mean, it's going to go above the price it normally goes for. So now profit margins are slimmer. So it's tougher for new people, new investors to get started in that type of environment because, you know, with the profit margins being slimmer, you take a chance and you mess up. Well, now you can lose. So I would recommend people, to be honest, I would recommend anybody to wait next 8 to 15 months. Get yourself in position now. That way, when the market crashes, you're in position to take over a lot of this opportunity that's going to be available because the real estate market is going to crash. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. A lot of people don't believe it. But you can mark my words 10/22, 2020, the real estate market will crash. It will crash soon.
Okay, got my bride. She wants to know what should beginner investors do during the downtime?
Beginner investors. All right. So, first and foremost, you want to be in position. You know, when opportunity comes and you're not in position, what good is that opportunity? So the
Mm.
very first step is simply making sure you're ready, you have buying power. So you want to make sure whether you're going to use a proof of funds, you're going to use your own liquid money, you know, you want to make sure you got, you know, you have the liquid. If you're going to utilize a loan, you want to make sure that you contact the lender now and make sure that you're qualified or you're pre-approved now. That way,
Mm.
when the market crashes, you're in position to buy. You have buying power. So you know, if you reach out to the lender and they say, hey, you know, you need to get your credit score up, well, then At that point, you need to work on getting the credit score up. If they say, hey, you're self-employed, we need 2 years worth of taxes, and you only have one, well, maybe you work on that additional year of taxes. So the very first step is reaching out to a lender, a loan officer, whether it be your local banker, or whether it be somebody that I utilize and I recommend. You're gonna reach out to that individual, see exactly where you stand. That way, when the time comes, you pull the trigger. So you want to have the bullets, you want to have your targets, you want to have your weapon. That way, when it's time for you to shoot, you can shoot and hit the target.
Let's go. My question, Credit Karma. Credit Karma is not the lender you want to be talking to. So I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah. So in Credit Karma, what I tell people is a guide. Like normally most times your credit score is it can be 20, 30 points, positive, above the number they show you, or it could be 20, 30 points less. It's a guide though. So, like if it's increasing, you're on the right track. It's a guide. It's not accurate at all, but it's a good guide. It's a gauge. It shows you if you're warm or you're cold.
Good deal. Guys, if y'all have any questions, y'all got any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. We'll definitely get an answer. I see the viewers out there. Got people approaching me on the streets. I know y'all watching. Just go ahead and say what's up to me. If you got any questions, go ahead and drop them. Let's get answered. Let's get them answered while we got the time to.
Approaching you on the street, man. You signing autographs?
No, I'm not at that point. But I'm not at that point. But I had a couple people say, I saw you last night. So yeah, man. So the word is definitely getting out. Thanks for everybody. So I also have a couple of questions. Some people are asking about hard money loans. I know we talked about this one-on-one, but do you recommend hard money loans for our particular investment arena, or South Carolina, our area?
Absolutely not, man. So, I probably flipped a total of, in South Carolina, maybe 60 houses, maybe. Not one time was I able to utilize a hard money lender. All right. Reason being, so when you take a market like, for instance, Chicago, I invest heavily in Chicago. I got a few flips going on as we speak. So let's say I'll give you an example, a building that I just sold yesterday. So I just closed on this building yesterday. I brought this building for $40,000. That building was considered a 2-flat. So that means one family live at the top, one family live at the bottom. So that's 2 units. It's not considered a duplex up north. It's considered a 2-flat. If it was three families, it would be considered a 3-flat. 4-flat, 4 families. So it was 2-flat. I purchased the building for $40,000. The renovation was approximately 80,000 to 100,000. I can't remember the number to be exact. Anyway, that building was worth 260,000. It was 260,000. Man, matter of fact, I wish I had the closing documents. I would have.
So that's what, 100,000 in equity.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is the equity is far more than in South Carolina. Like it's very rare you're gonna find a property that's worth you buy and it's worth 50 more thousand, or 80 more thousand than what you purchased it for. That's pretty rare. So hard money lenders, they like to lend when they have equity, because what happens is if you don't pay that bill, they come back, they foreclose, they take their property back. Now they have the money that you put down, and they have the asset, they have the building they can sell again. So the risk is very minimal for them. It's not a major risk. So big cities where people, average home price maybe $500,000, or like if you take LA for example. I'm looking at houses out in LA at the moment, and the average sales price is 850,000, I believe it is. You can't find a house, for $1 million. You have very few options for $1 million. So people there, when you're buying property, most people there, they putting down large down payments on homes. They're not just putting 5,000. They putting $100,000 down, $150,000 down, 200,000 down, or 300,000, and so that gives you more equity in properties and markets like that. Here in South Carolina, with our minimum sales price, our average sales price being $175,000, And we got a lot of programs where you put down, you might put down 3,000, 5,000, 3.5% of that property, and you buying it at retail value. There's no equity in the property. I don't know too many people. I don't know too many people here that have the resources to put down 50 and 60 grand, because that's not the market we're in. So that's why it's tougher to use hard money in places like Colombia. Not saying that it's impossible. I'm just saying it's pretty rare. In my experience.
All right. So for all of you all who don't know, y'all hear the numbers, y'all hear the investing in different states and all the good stuff, but a lot of you all don't know his starting point. And I don't know exactly what all just tell him about just a small little bit. Like, Cody did not come from an ideal situation. Like, some of y'all might be watching, like, man, I want to get in real estate, but I got A, B, and C going on. So when Cody got started, it wasn't an ideal situation as well, but he didn't let that stop him. Cody, you want to share any of the points or the principles, or any advice for someone who might be in a less than ideal situation but wants to get started in real estate investing?
Hold on one second. Yes.
Also, this is a perfect time. Go ahead and drop questions in the comments. Hit that share button for me. Let's let some other people join the conversation.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all good.
Got little ones. Now what you were saying, man, about my beginning, my start. And thankfully, man, I was born into a very wealthy family. I was born into families, a royal family. So I had a silver spoon.
Yeah.
I didn't struggle at all. Now,
Yeah.
now, all seriousness though, so man, when I first got into real estate, I was just getting back, kind of, just getting back on my feet. I had just got back in the military. I was a troublemaker. I had got kicked out of the military one time, and we kind of lost everything. My family, me and my wife, we lost everything that we had. So we ended up sleeping in a computer room at one of her family members' house. It was a very small room. We had a blow up mattress, and so my wife, we had our first child, and she was pregnant with our second. And so, I didn't have any money. I didn't have a dollar to my name. I couldn't buy Pampers. I didn't have a car. All my cars that got repossessed. My credit was shot. Her family, basically, her relatives had to provide gas. They had to let me drive the car. They brought Pampers. They purchased clothes for my wife as she grew and got bigger. And so from there, I was able to kind of, got a job, got back in the Army, and then decided to go into real estate. And so my credit was shot. Then I think it was probably like, what's the lowest you can have?
About 400.
So it's probably a 398. So I basically, man, I decided I wasn't gonna stick my head in the sand like a turtle, but I faced everything head on. I took responsibility for the decisions that I made as a man, as an individual, and I decided I was gonna change my circumstance and change my situation. So I looked at my credit. I never forget, I printed my credit report off, and I started going by every single item, and I started calling them. I'll settle, and then I'll work on paying stuff off. And so obviously that took time, man. It took me a year or so to get my credit back right. But then, I got in real estate also, started making, was able to get some sales under my belt. And I started to be wise with my resources. I started to make smart investments. I started to save my money. I started to invest in my credit. I started to invest in myself. I started to just expose myself to people who think on higher levels. I started just to be conscious and to be wise with everything, all my resources that God had given me. And so what I learned is, I started to learn that life is a game. It's a matter of how you play it. So I learned that when you deal with credit and you deal with money, you deal with assets, it's all about leveraging and understand how to make those different things work together in harmony to get the maximum results. And so I started to learn how credit worked. I started to learn how to what type of power I had. I started to learn that the bankers worked for me. I didn't you know, it was a privilege for them to do business with me versus, you know, me thinking I had to walk in the bank with my head down. And so, you know, I understand that my money being in the bank, that's power. That gives me a voice. So now most of the banks that I deal with, you know, the entire staff, they know me because it's a pleasure and an honor for them to serve me and have my money in their bank so that they can continue to make money. And so I started to change my perspective and how I thought and how I viewed property, how I viewed investing. So everything in my life, man, every single thing down to my cars, my houses, every decision I make a purchase, it has to give me a return on my investment. So I buy everything under value and I sell it for retail when I sell it, you know, and I don't get attached to material things or attached to houses. So you know, for instance, man, we probably done moved 20 plus times, you know, and I'm 28. But if my house value go up tomorrow and I know that this is the best time for me to sell it, I'm going to sell it tomorrow. And
Gone.
I'm not going to think twice about it. And so I learned that I had to use the tools I got. I had to use what I had to get what I wanted. I think that was the line off Players Club. But
I'm not familiar with that movie.
what?
No,
Oh my.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Okay. All right. But I realized, man, that I had a lot of powerful things, tools, resources. And so I started. It's levels. You know, it's levels to it. Like Meek Mill said. Um, every level you own, though, you have some type of leverage that you can utilize to put yourself in a better position. And so, you know, you take a step up, and then you learn how to master that level, and then you take another step up, you learn how to master that level. You know, it's the same principles on every single level. You just get better and you get more shrewd with doing business. And so I just studied the game. I learned from people, so I wasn't afraid to always surround myself with people who have more knowledge and experience than me. So, like the saying, birds of a feather flock together. Excuse me, that's a true statement. So, you know, if you hang around 4 millionaires, you're probably gonna be the fifth millionaire. And so I began to surround myself with millionaires, you know, and I began to think like a millionaire. I began to talk like a millionaire. I began to walk like a millionaire. And then before you know it, you know, I became a millionaire.
Good deal, man. Um, so I want to ask you this. We got a good group of people who's gonna watch this video. Um, as I sit down and I work with people in their finances, a lot of people have trouble saving money or they waste money frivolously. It's like a bunch of small dollars, but those small dollars always adds up. And you just mentioned about how you are a saver, and I've seen that personally. I've seen how you know maneuver in certain ways, and you are a saver. What would you say to someone who is not a saver? Like what advice would you give them?
Um, Man, you know what? I don't really know if I'm the best person to give that advice because my kids, I can't seem to teach them for some reason. Um, my birthday was the other day, and he had like $40 or $60, and I was like, hey man, you should probably save some of it because you know when you go back in the store, you might see something that you want, and I wasn't able to get him to save anything. Matter of fact, I had to put some more money with it. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Yeah, he made you come about the pocket.
yeah, yeah. But on a serious note, man, what I would say is you got to sacrifice. So obviously, all of us can do a better job at saving. Even myself, man. You know, I can do a better job at saving even more. But um, you know, you're gonna have to sacrifice and be have a long term vision for yourself and for your family, and that's gonna have to override the instant gratification and that immediate gratification that you can receive. So you know you got to write the vision down. You know you got to get. We used to do a vision board, so we'll write down like want to purchase a house, we want to have our car paid off, we want to buy a car, want to work out, want to eat healthy, and you know every single day I see it. You know it goes into your subconscious, and you begin to think about it even when you're not thinking about it. And so you know having a vision, knowing exactly where you want to go in life, and just being dedicated and consistent, and having somebody in your life that holds you accountable, because a lot of times we don't like to be held accountable. Matter of fact, I sat down with my mentor when I was making 100,000 a year, and I probably didn't have $5,000 saved, you know, and I thought I was doing something because I was making 100,000. And when I sat down with him, he looked at me, he's like, you ain't doing nothing. And it was a check. It checked me. It caused me to reevaluate my situation. And so, having somebody that you can just be open and honest with. We're so secretive with our money sometimes. Like, it's like you don't want people to know what you got. Like, nobody's not. You're afraid by telling them they're going to take it from you. Just sitting down with people who have more knowledge, who have more resources, and let them advise you on how to build more. Even myself today, like I had a lunch meeting with a financial advisor. And we talked about the market. We talked about different things. He gave me some knowledge and some information. Um, I don't. You never stop growing. You never get to a point where you don't have anything to learn. And so I would say just first being open and being willing to talk to people who can help you and who have the fruit. You know the tree by the fruit that it bears. So if you want to see apples produced in your life, then you need to talk to somebody who has an apple tree, and they actually have apples. I'm not one of those guys that go along with people promoting stuff that they haven't done. I practice what I preach. So, if I can't tell you if I never managed 100,000, I'm not going to tell you how to manage 100,000. And so talking to people who actually are in those positions that can give you good financial information to help you obtain your financial goals.
Let's go. I love it. All right, so we're coming up to a close. Do you need perfect credit to start investing in real estate?
Absolutely not. You don't need perfect credit, but you do need some credit, and you need good credit. That I mean, regardless, even if you didn't, the goal is still to have good credit. So there are people who work with, if you have a mid 600, 600, 620, it's possible to get some things done. But at the end of the day, it's not just one thing. It's a collective group of resources that you have, meaning your credit, meaning the amount of money. Maybe your credit score might be a 600, but you might have $80,000 in your bank. Maybe you got a 700, but you might only have $10,000 in your bank. So it's just finding a solution, finding a way to make your goals and what you're trying to accomplish happen. And so that's my approach with everything I do, man. I find the person who can get it done. I don't take no for an answer. And so you got to deal with creative people who think outside of the box. Not thinking not just checking the box, but talking to people, whether it's the real estate agent, whether it's the loan officer, whether it's who the attorney, whoever it is, talking to people who are creative, not people who just do jobs.
I love it. I love it. All right. Last question. And if y'all got any other questions, drop them in the comments real quick.
I'm not saying, man. Are you is where the questions are?
Oh, it's on my side in the through the software. I see it. Yeah. What is your thought process towards failure or failures with an S? What is your thought process towards failure and setbacks? Like how should one deal with failure?
So and I can tell you how I deal with failure and how I believe you should deal with failure. For me, man, I always look at things in life like the worst you can happen is you fail. That's the worst that can happen. So if I'm not dead, then that means I got another opportunity to get it right, and I got another opportunity to win and grow. So for me, that's how I feel about failure. Now, when I experience failure, that's a different thing. So, for instance, I ran for a public office here lately. Some people are aware. I ran for county council, and I didn't win. I lost, and so mentally, it put me in a very bad state. Because I'm not used to losing. And so I don't like to lose. And so when I do experience a loss, for one, I make sure that I learn every single lesson in that failure so that going forward I'm stronger and I'm better. And so um anytime you fail or anytime you experience a loss, it's always good because you're going to gain something. You're going to get stronger. Every single successful person in this world has a story about their ups and their downs and their the failures and the different things. If you read about Michael Jordan being cut, if you read about Jimmy Butler, going from house to house and sleeping on different couches in high school, to not being drafted in the first round, to going to the championship this year. You know, if you read Oprah's story, you know, if you read Tyler Perry's story, every single person that's successful they have a story. You know, there's a story. So, you know, just like with me, you know, I didn't just happen to, you know, I didn't have the royal family to take care of me. You know, I didn't come from, you know, a wealthy family, and so it was a lot of failure, it was a lot of loss. You know, I didn't have anything at one point in time. I had bad credit. You know, I dropped out of high school. I got a GED. You know, I didn't make it to college. I wasn't fortunate enough to go to college after I dropped out. You know, I lived on my own since I was 14, 15. You know, my mom wasn't able to buy my first car. I had to buy my first car. I paid my car insurance at 16. I had to put gas on my car at 16. I had to take care of my daughter at the age of 16. My mom didn't take care of my daughter. And so everybody that's successful has a story, and every single person on this earth has a story. It's just whether or not you're willing to overcome those different obstacles that were put in your that was put in your life. You know, it's like playing spades. You know, you're dealt the hand, and then it's up to you to turn that hand into something. You know, if you got mostly spades but you don't know how to play them, you know, you got a good hand but you end up taking the L. So it's just making the best out of every single situation in life. And if you're not dead, if you got breath in your body, listening to this live, then you got opportunity to change your financial situation. You got an opportunity to make your family, build generational wealth for your family. You got an opportunity to make more money on your job. You got an opportunity to leave a legacy to your children. You got an opportunity to expose your children to a different level of thinking. You got an opportunity to expose your children to a different level of life, a different way to live. So that's what I would say, man.
Let's go, man. I feel like I need to be working on something right now. All right, man. You got an event coming up for everybody who wants to get you want to get started in real estate. You want to know more specific, more practical strategies. Talk to them. Tell them about the official real estate bash of 2020 that you got coming up.
All right, the official real estate bash 2020 is November the 23rd. November the 23rd, man. It's very important. If you're trying to take it really serious, it's very, very important that you attend this live, that you attend this Zoom, this webinar, whatever you want to call it. You can go to my page, Cody J. Pressley, CODY Pressly. You can follow me. You can sign up. You'll see a link for a registration to sign up. First 25 people, I think, is $139. I think we got about 9 more tickets left. So sign up immediately. We'll have DJ Envy from the Breakfast Club. So if you watch the Breakfast Club, we have DJ Envy on. I have my real estate agent Nia, along with Coach the Closer out of Chicago. They'll be on. They helped me close multiple deals. If you look at her page, she just posted a property I closed the other day. You know, made approximately $60,000 off that property. I have my lender that I utilize for most of my deals, Todd Simon, Todd Simon. He'll be on the live. We'll have a credit specialist on the live, Gino out of Chicago, Torch. He'll be on. We'll have Damian Burrs, Money Smart University. He's also the broker in charge and co-founder of Burrs and Pressley Realty. He'll be on sharing a wealth of knowledge. So we got a crazy lineup with people who are proven. That's the thing about me, man. I'm not one of these internet guys who just link with people and just promote and know how to market. But everybody I do business with, they actually have substance, they actually have resources, they actually close deals, they actually buy property, and we got the proof. So if you're serious, go to my page ASAP. You might have a chance to still get the ticket for $139. Afterwards, the tickets will be $203, I believe. So sign up ASAP. It's very, very important. So if you want to pick our brain, that's going to be the time where you can pick our brain.
Absolutely, man. Cody, man, appreciate you so much for hopping on, man. Dropping some knowledge on the good people, man. Hope y'all enjoyed tonight, man. If y'all did, man, please hit that share button for me, man. Let somebody else tune into this conversation. We'll be around the comments for a little bit. If y'all got any more questions, just drop them below. And thank y'all for tuning in. And definitely we'll see y'all next week, man. Y'all be good and stay safe out there.